Hello and welcome to Travel Better. My name is Hannah and I'm your Sustainable Adventure Travel Specialist. On today's episode, we're joined by Reyna from Montemar Eco Luxury Villas. These sustainably made villas are located in the Galapagos Islands, and I'm so excited to learn more about the villas and how they were made, as well as the destination of the Galapagos. Thank you so much for being here, Reyna.
Anna, it's a great pleasure to join you today.
Fantastic. Well, let's get started and find a little bit more about who you are and sort of the background of Montemar.
Yes, of course. So actually, my husband, Roberto, and I, we both come from the biology field. He's a biologist, I'm an ecologist. And actually, for us, Galapagos is like a dream come true. And Montemar actually is born out of that dream because for us, the possibility of owning a piece of land in the middle of the giant tortoise migration zone was like a dream come true. And given the fact that they were here before us and they are, I'm sure they're going to be, the giant tortoise, they're going to be here after us, our commitment to make sure that our footprint is as light as possible was there since the beginning. So Montemar actually is located in Santa Cruz Island, which is the big island in the center of the archipelago. And in Santa Cruz, within Santa Cruz, we're located in the highlands, 20 minutes away from the main town. And this is the place actually where the giant tortoises migrate. They actually, the name of Montemar is started out of the path of migration. So the tortoises migrate from the mountain to the ocean. So mountain in Spanish is monte, and ocean is mar. So it's mountain to the ocean, ocean to the mountain. That's their path of migration. So that picture that you see there, it's actually one of the natural ponds that happen in Montemar. And the giant tortoises are reptiles, and they cannot regulate their temperature by their own. So they depend on the outside environment, and water is one of the things that they really enjoy. So those natural ponds are, they started by their permanent presence there. So they are there and they come to sleep every night. And when they leave, sometimes they take some of the mud on their carapaces. And it's like a micro digging. They keep digging until you have these incredible, beautiful pool looking structures that will host, we counted more than 150 of them in one of the ponds. So yes, I mean, like for us, that was the inspiration. And so we naively at the beginning decided that we were gonna commit to rehabilitate the farm for giant tortoises because this was an old abandoned pasture full of invasive species. And I say naively because we didn't know how expensive it was going to be. So after 1 year, we decided, we realized that we couldn't afford it because invasive species, they take over and they will keep reproducing and it's hard to get rid of them. So we didn't want to give up and we came with the idea of designing a business plan that will finance the rehabilitation of the farm for giant tortoises. And this is the coffee. So actually our coffee, Montemar coffee, the coffee that our guests drink every morning is from the property. It's organic and biodynamic, and all the activities that we do around it is to make sure that it's a business that will sustain the rehabilitation of the farm for giant tortoises. So yeah, it's a conservation / local entrepreneurship initiative. And the picture that you're seeing there is that, of course, even though we're in the Galapagos and there's lots of science happening, believe it or not, there wasn't a lot of information about the migration of giant tortoises. So we are supporting many different scientific research projects, and one of them is tagging the giant tortoises to make sure that we better understand their migration. And and we can, as humans, make all what we can to support their conservation. This is Steve Blake, one of actually the main researcher. And this project, actually, some of our guests have financed the satellite tags that you're seeing there. So thanks to the support of our visitors and many people around, we are better understanding that migration path.
That's incredible. I love how, as a guest, you get to stay in a beautiful place, but you also give back and get to participate in these conservation efforts. So that's really cool.
Yeah, when actually one of the things that that makes so starting from that location, which is Montemar location, we started like 2 villas. We have 2 villas, one that is for 8 people and the other one is for 4 people. Villa Tortuga, which is the bigger villa, was built mainly with local materials, and we've got like really nice living area and an open kitchen where actually you can see your chef in action 24/7, because we're preparing your food and your meals with our products from the farm. They're organic and mostly biodynamic, and if it's not from the farm, we're trying to make sure that it comes really close by from other farms around. There's incredible views from the ocean, from Floreana and Isabella Island, from the villa. And there's a space enough for everybody to be comfortable, and all the finishings and all the small touches from towels to sheets, everything has been really catered and make sure that it's perfectly comfortable for our guests. Villa Lechuza will host actually 4 people. It's like the smaller version of the Villa Tortuga, and it has a living room, dining room, and open kitchen area with 2 bathrooms that will hold up to 4 people. It's ideal and it's perfect for family vacations, multi-generational families that want to explore the Galapagos and as their bucket list, and make sure that we can feed and fulfill all the needs of multi-generations, for example.
So are you able to book both villas together?
Yeah, you can book both villas together. You can have a buyout, which means you can have one villa and the other one just do not being used. So the property, it's 18 hectares of land. It's exclusive for the use of our guests. So it's actually a really exclusive, more an isolated experience. And now after pandemic and COVID, actually, it's a great. It seems that it was designed for it, but it's not actually. That was the original design.
Very cool. Oh, these are beautiful. Maybe you can tell a bit more about how the villas were made and the sort of materials that were used to construct them.
Yeah, well, actually, that slide that you're seeing right now, it's from the drone, and you can see the solar panels. We are producing. We have taken sustainability to the frontier in Galapagos. Right now, we are producing most of our energy with solar panels. For most people, it's something common, but when you're trying to build a solar project on a country whose main product of export is petroleum, this is really a novelty. And actually, we had to go really against the current to make this happen, because it ends up being really expensive. So in order to be able to finance this, we had to ensure that the house was efficient itself. And so if you turn on all the lights of the house at the same time and you turn on all the electrical appliances, we are using as much energy as one air conditioner, because we are taking advantage of nature. So we are using natural ventilation for cross ventilation, and it's really, really nice, comfortable temperature inside the house. So you can see the roof of the house. It's like the lungs of the house, because their solar panels are there, but also they capture the water from the rain. And that's the water that you're going to be taking a shower with. So it may be one of the purest waters. Then the second thing, that picture that you're seeing there, it's actually our commitment to sustainability was to make sure that we can import as least materials as possible, because every time there's a boat or an airplane coming with things for humans in the Galapagos, there's a higher risk of introducing an invasive species. And that's why we committed to basically, actually more than 70% of the volume of the houses are local materials. Basically, what you're seeing there is lava. We're using bamboo, which is another material you can find in the Galapagos. And we are using Spanish cedar, which is a beautiful wood that it's invasive for the Galapagos. So we use it, cut it and dry it, and build most of the furniture and the doors and everything inside. So that's the bamboo. When we started the treatment many, many years ago, when we built the houses, and we bought it standing up from the local 2 kilometers away from where Montemar was built.
Wow, that's incredible. I love how, every aspect of these villas has been designed like thoughtfully. You really thought through the whole process, and using those local materials. It just makes so much sense. So that's incredible.
Yeah, well, actually, many people have asked me if Montemar is the result of a planning for a specific target of clients, but actually it's not. This is a dream of a family that decided to put its pocket where its mouth was regarding sustainability. And organically, after many years, it turned out to be a tourism project, but it was born out of really our commitment to make sure that we start walking the path that we believe. So yeah, so actually what you're seeing there is our little garden. It's also organic and biodynamic, and it's we have most of the vegetables that we are getting in Montemar are coming from the farm, and if it's not from our farm, we are buying them from really close by initiatives from people that are also committed with the environmental soundly production. So you can see there our eggs from Happy Chickens, and there's yaca, the coffee, carrots, parsley, naranjillas for the juice, lemongrass, and all of those are the ingredients that our chef uses to prepare our meals, everything from scratch. Really fresh, and trying to make sure that we meet all the requirements. We are really flexible in that path, and we have walked the path of non-gluten and vegetarian, vegan, everything that you can think of, we are ready for you.
So does a stay at the villa then include all of their food as well, or do they have options for different foods?
Yeah, well, actually, the idea is that we propose a menu that will guide you through an exploration of Ecuadorian cuisine. Cool. But of course, and we have tailored our plates, and our chef is done an incredible job making sure that they are friendly for all the palates. But if you want anything extra or different, we are ready to prepare it. So yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. It's so lovely when you can come to one place and everything's taken care of. I'm sure the food's really delicious too.
Yeah, well, that's for us an important component of well-being. Food, the comfortability of the villas itself, and that you feel at home. That's the idea.
Mm-hmm. So maybe tell us a little bit more about the different sustainability projects that you have ongoing.
Yeah, well, for us, sustainability, it's not just the environmental component. Actually, we believe really profoundly that we are part of the community. So we don't believe that of helping somebody else. Actually, we are part of a bigger community, and we are part of that tissue. So it's our responsibility to work together. The picture that you're seeing there is called Huerto Común, that it's an initiative that happens with Frente Insular, which is a local community group that gets together many volunteers. I'm one of them, and we are just basically working together to resolve or to find solutions for environmental and social challenges. And in this case, we're working with young adults that actually are not really exposed to land or to the soil or to find out where their food is coming. So here they are learning organic agriculture, the importance of a healthy eating, of how easy it can be to have your own little garden next to you in a little tiny place in your home, and make sure that you change your lifestyle to make sure that you are healthy from the roots and not only from the surface. So yeah, I mean, like that, this is a really successful program that happens at least twice a month or more. And all the volunteers come, they work, but they also take fresh fruits and veggies to their home, and they help us. So that's one project. The other project that we have is supporting local artists and artisans in putting their products on the market. And as part of that, of course, if our guests are interested in art, they can join many of the initiatives with one of the 18 local artists that work with us.
Cool. Wow, that's incredible. I love that.
Yeah. And education, it's like a cross-cutting issue everywhere, because it's impossible to think of a future if we're not working with the young and with the young people. So we are working all the time. It's either with the schools or with local groups that bring kids and adult and young people to learn about sustainability, about farming, about energy, about how we can live lightly and with a lighter footprint on this special place as Galapagos. This actually last week. This is a group of 60 kids from many different schools from Puerto Ayora, and they are there learning about sustainable energy and water catchment systems.
Oh, cool. Wow, that's so great. You're so right. Like the youth are the people who will, take over, maybe working for you or creating their own, eco luxury villas in the future. So this is great that you're providing education and hopefully bringing them to try conservation and learning more about their food and all of that on their own. So that's fantastic.
Yeah, but one of the things that I always say, Hannah, is that that's the location where you're going to be staying. So Montemar is the place where you stay, but you're not coming to the Galapagos just to be in Montemar. So that's why we have put a lot of attention, and my husband has been guiding for more than 25 years. Myself, I was a guide 25 years ago. So we know Galapagos, every inch of it, and we know everybody and all the operations, and we can identify quality. So we have been able to cater and to design incredible experiences and explorations of the island, so you can get the best of Galapagos. We are trying to make sure that during your visit and your stay with Montemar, you're getting to see the Big Ten from Galapagos. I mean, like the blue-footed boobies and the marine iguanas, the frigate birds, and all the things that you need to see. But the only thing is that you're going to come back home at the end of the exploration. So usually during the day, we have many menu of activities that go from really active things like surfing or kayaking to scuba diving, but we can design according to your physical needs and your taste and what are your interests, so to make sure that you get the best of Galapagos. We also work with a really good boat, so you will leave in the morning and you will return at the end of the day after exploring the islands nearby and like getting to know the real Galapagos, the one that we are so looking forward for our bucket list trip, the ones that we've seen in documentaries in BBC and Nat Geo, that to make sure that you can feel and see those things.
Mm-hmm. So how long do you recommend that people stay with you or on the Galapagos in general?
So, I do believe that it's a place where you're not going to come back because it's one of those places that's one in a lifetime. And I think that if you've done all the trip all the way here, the best, staying for 7 nights, 8 days, it's the perfect stay. I think we can fit everything in. And we can also arrange shorter stays for 5 nights or 4 nights. That can also be done. But if you ask me, what will I do if I will have to design my own, I'll say 7.
Perfect. Awesome. Yeah, I got to spend 7 days in the Galapagos many years ago. So I agree. You need at least 1 week to see everything. It's so wonderful.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, thank you again for sharing all of those incredible details. And it sounds like Montemar has so much to offer, not just, a luxury stay that also gives back to the local communities, but also some incredible itineraries and activities for clients to do. So I really love what you've built over there, and I'm very excited to visit one day, that's for sure.
We're so looking forward to host you here, Hannah. Yeah, it will be great.
Yes, I would love that. I think I know you said it's once in a lifetime, but I think I have to go back to the Galapagos for sure. Maybe one last question. Just in terms of your staff, would you say most of your staff do come from the Galapagos Islands or from Ecuador in general?
Everybody comes from Ecuador, and most, a majority, they come from the islands. And what we are doing is actually, we're working with young people also to make sure that we have, for example, our barman. We've got a barman that's been trained. It's a local young boy that right now it's 19 years old and he wants to become a barman. So he's been trained and he's learning with a senior. So yeah, we are trying to make sure that we strengthen the roots here on the islands.
That's fantastic. Awesome. And maybe one last one. I know I said the last one is my last one, but what would you say? I know you said 7 days, but what would you say is the best time of year to visit the Galapagos?
That's a hard question to answer because There's many things happening in terms of wildlife all throughout the year. So it's, I mean, like whenever you want to come, there's incredible things happening. So then it's more about the climate. So we have two different seasons. One that's more humid and with more sun, and it's hot. It's warmer. That goes from December to May. And then from June till November, it's going to be there's more garua, what we call garua, so it's a bit more cloudy. The sun is not there 24/7, and it may be not as warm as the other one. But of course, this is really relative because it's in the equator. So what it's not warm in the equator is nothing compared to the north or south hemisphere.
True. I'm in Canada, and so yeah, we get cold winters, but I'm sure it's very warm still in the dry season over there.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Sure.
Well, I think you're right. It sort of depends on what you want to see. Like if you're really interested in the giant tortoises or in the blue-footed boobies, then you might want to go at a specific time of year. So yeah, I think that's sort of maybe more dependent instead of a specific weather necessarily.
Yeah, and actually, for example, giant tortoises, we have them throughout the year. And then sometimes there may be more of them and sometimes a bit less, but they are here all the time. So that's usually what happens with most species. So yeah.
Okay, well, that's good to know for sure. Awesome. Well, I think that was all of my questions, and your images are just gorgeous. So I'm so excited to share this with all of my clients, and anyone who's interested in learning more about Montemar can check out all of the links in the description below. And thank you again for being here with me, Reyna. I really appreciate it.
Anna, it's been a pleasure. I'm looking forward to see you here.
Yes, I'd love to come. Thanks again. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Travel Better with myself, Hannah Elias, and Reyna from Montemar Eco Luxury Villas. If you've ever wanted to go to the Galapagos Islands, I highly recommend checking out Montemar. Their website and social media are listed below in the description. Thank you again for watching, and we'll see you next time.